Namaste. So, I don't really know what to talk about right now. Honestly, I just wanted to talk to the camera a little bit more. I have a feeling that my throat just wants to express. So, I had some things that I was thinking about, but I really just want to talk kind of about what I've been witnessing around and just like maybe what I've been kind of like the way that I've been seeing things, and maybe just like throw my perspective out there just so that people could look at it, maybe like pick something up from it. I don't know. Okay, here I'll talk about energy transfer. How about that? That's what kind of came up just then. So, energy transfer. What is energy, right? So, let's think for a second and try to figure out what energy is. What normally people they think of the word energy, and then all of a sudden they have a connotation that comes up in their mind, and they picture something. They picture maybe like some like flashing lights, or like maybe some electricity, or like smoke looking something. They picture some sort of form, right? And they imagine energy as whatever it is that they're thinking about. But what if we recontextualize energy and we started to see that energy is more than just form? Energy is feelings. Energy is form itself. Energy is expression through nature. Energy is also expression through human. Energy is the act of doing. It's what's presented or made from doing. So in order for something to be done, energy has to be present. So in order for anything to even exist, energy has to be present. So therefore, I'm energy, you're energy, we're all energy, we all have energy. So if we change our perspective of energy, then we start to see that every single thing in our life that we do is an energy transfer. And everything that you do is with humans, it's always a mental activity and a physical activity and a spiritual activity at the same time. So what I mean by that is that when you talk to a person, you have the physical experience of talking to them, the physical feelings that you get inside of your body when you talk to them, and you have the physical audible words that you hear. That's a form of energy. The feeling of hearing things, the feeling of feeling your body, the interaction, the speaking, the vibrating of your vocal cords in order to make sound, and then the interpretation of that is all energy. So if you learn to direct energy and kind of push it where you want it to go, then you can start to really make some big changes in your life, and especially in your mental. Because I didn't finish this, right? So I just said that the physical aspect of it. The next was the mental, right? So the mental, I know I got distracted there for a second, but the mental is the connection that is made between you and the other person on a completely kind of intellectual biased kind of way. So it's basically like when you walk away from somebody, right? And you finish the interaction, but then you start thinking about how that interaction went. That is like the mental energy transfer that is accomplished through transaction via like energy transfer like that. But anyways, the point that I'm making is that like that is the mental kind of energy that you experience, is that the thoughts that come through afterwards, the way that you think after you're done speaking to a person, the way that you feel in your mental after you're done speaking to a person, while you're speaking to a person. Like as I'm speaking and you're hearing the words coming out of my mouth, it's not just the words that I'm saying that are bringing you in to listen to what I have to say. It's also the energy that I'm presenting and the kind of energy that I'm giving you when it comes to the way that you feel after you're done with the interaction. And for me, I like to give as much energy as I possibly can. So I just hold a lot of energy, and it's expressed in different ways. But most of the time, if you just know how to direct that energy, meaning like you know what your energy feels like, and you know how to express that in yourself, and then you get really good at expressing it in yourself to the point where you can call on it anytime, and then you kind of you look at the person and you almost look at them as like a come on, you know that this is a feeling that you can experience too, or something like that, but it's mental, you know what I mean? And this is kind of like how to send things through energy transfer. And going off in another direction, telepathy, how to work telepathy, right? Just let's just tangent really quick, why not? Anyways, how to do telepathy, right? It's all energy transfer. So when you look at the person, you kind of emotionally you feel the feeling that you want to give. Like basically what you get really good at connecting thoughts with feelings. So the thought that you have, like you basically find the feeling that is most similar to the thought that you want to send to the other person, and then you send that feeling, and then their mind interprets the feeling. You see what I mean? So if you know the other person, it's easier to do it with, but like you can do it with even people that you don't know too. You just have to, they have to be open to kind of take it in. Otherwise they just won't even like acknowledge that you sent them anything. But some people are open to it, and some people will respond if you're speaking on two different levels at one time. So it's like you hear words coming out of my mouth, but at the same time, I'm sending you messages through this other kind of wavelength, and the words are kind of just like weaving you in between the things that I'm actually trying to say. So it's like, doesn't matter what's coming out of my mouth and the words that I'm saying, it's more about the feelings that come through and the energy that is behind the things, because you can, there's ways that you can speak to people that are different than what we have been conventionally taught. We can speak to people, and I'm gonna make a whole different video on this. I remember this, Evan. We're gonna do this right afterwards, okay? Okay. You see, so we can speak to ourselves as well, and this is so, you know, random, I guess, but I wanted to talk to a camera, so so you saw that, right? So that was like a very small version of it, but you can start to have conversation with yourself and be really nice to yourself and just laugh at yourself and laugh, but don't laugh at yourself, more just laugh because you like laughing. But like what I mean is like start speaking to yourself and become best friends with yourself at the least. Eventually you're going to be like deleting a lot of different parts of yourself, but you want to find the parts of yourself that you enjoy being around, because if you enjoy being around it, most likely other people are going to enjoy being around it too. So if you find yourself, you know, continuously being put into relationships and things like that that are destroying you, then you probably should look inward and figure out, am I even able to like sit with my own self? Like if I were to go by myself, like would I freak out because like I hate myself so much that I can't even be with my own self? If that's true, then most likely that energy is going to be expressed in your relationships at some point in your life. And that's probably why you've been having the same relationship with 5 different people, you know, for the past like 10 years or whatever. So that's so random, dude. These like messages come out. Okay. So this is just another side of me, you know what I mean? Other than just like the serious teacher or whatever. This is just like kind of more playful side, I guess. Or just me as a, just to see, just so show you my mind in a way, like to show you how my mind kind of thinks. Also, excessive mind activity, you can really let go of a lot of excessive mind activity by realizing, like literally take your attention and put it back on the self, and then be like, do I want to experience a negative feeling? And then be honest with yourself. Do I want to experience a negative feeling? If you are experiencing negative feelings, there is a part of yourself that wants to experience it. Otherwise, you would not be experiencing it. Because you have to start taking responsibility for your reality, and start taking responsibility for what you're creating, and taking responsibility for the fact that you are literally, you can at least take responsibility for yourself in the way that you think and what you think. You can't keep blaming other people for the thoughts that you're experiencing. You see what I mean? Like there's a point that you get to when you realize like, oh, I can just stop letting other people's opinions bother me at all. And I can I can look at them, I can observe them, and I can take their opinions into consideration. But if it makes me feel bad, I don't have to keep thinking about it. You see, I can feel the emotion from their perspective, and I can see that it makes me feel bad. And if it does make me feel bad, then I can take my attention and I can disconnect it from that, because I don't like feeling bad. Now, the thing that causes it to feel bad may be some sort of thing that they think is true. And first of all, remember this: truth is never will feel bad. Okay, truth is love. So if something feels bad when you think about it, then it's not true, no matter how much logic tries to convince you that it is. It's not true. The only thing that truth will feel like is a beautiful feeling in yourself, and truth is going to feel like you know it's true. That's you see what I mean. So like truth, like when you know something is true, you don't feel bad, you feel good. You see what I mean? So if you have a thought pattern, and then that thought pattern brings you a feeling that is negative, then I would suggest disconnecting yourself from that thought pattern, or at least observing the thought pattern and looking into why it makes you feel negative, and then looking into the feeling, and then looking back into the thought pattern. And if it's the thought pattern that's causing the feeling, then maybe look into different ways that you can go about thinking that will not cause you negative feelings. So example, I left a couple of crystals on top of the car when I went hiking like a month ago, and then drove off, and they fell off of the car and they just were gone. And how I used to would have reacted would have been getting really upset at myself, and thinking that I'm so stupid for doing that, and thinking, wow, I wasted all this money, and thinking, like I need to go back and look for them, or I need to go in myself, or like, why would you do that? How could you be so, you see what I mean? Like it would just be continuous like that. So now I think to myself, I felt that, and I felt all that stuff come up. It felt it very, very powerfully. It was very real. I just chose to not give it power or energy, because like I felt how terrible it felt, and I'm like, wow, like I've experienced this so many times. It's a material thing. Like and I told myself, and I tell other people, that I'm not attached to material things, but yet I'm still experiencing this from losing material thing. What can I do about this? And I'm just like, I just need to stop. I need to figure out some sort of way to think about this. And I'm like, okay, the only way that I can think is that like that place needed those crystals to be there for somebody else to find them, or because like something like that. But I just had to switch it into service to others in some sort of way, just so I could feel okay. You see what I mean? So it's like you can use the knowledge of service also in order to be able to do that too in your own self, and just figure out new ways to look at the same things that are happening that make you feel good. You see what I mean? Like look at something as an opportunity, not because like say something bad happens and you would normally get really upset and stay upset about it. Look at it and just like try to just like look at it like an opportunity, and just see how you feel, like as if it actually was an opportunity. Like really feel into that feeling, really feel into that perspective, and feel into yourself and be like, does this feel good? Like what if this was an opportunity, and like this had to happen in order for something even better to happen in the future? And then just play the whole thing out as if that was actually true, and go deeply into it, to the same depth that you went into those negative feelings that you were feeling. Go into that exact same depth, but in positivity, and just feel it, and just allow yourself to feel good even though something bad is happening, and just keep doing that more and more, to like bring yourself into a space where you just generally look at everything in a positive light, and you're just optimistic in a way that it's like, I would say that it's like ruthless optimism, literally. Like to just continuously understand that God is love. Love is everything. Everything is trying to get you to be love. So if you're not experiencing love all the time, then obviously you have distortions inside of yourself that need to be kind of fixed. So I would go into it, first of all, humbly, understanding that you came here not because you're perfect, but because you have distortions inside of yourself that you need to fix. So come into an understanding that, and then look for the things inside of yourself that you need to fix, because it's obvious that when you get triggered, the opportunity that's presenting itself to you is something that is inside of you that needs to be fixed. Otherwise, you wouldn't get triggered. You see what I mean? Like, you would experience the exact same thing, but nothing would happen. Example, here we are. I forgot to put water in the radiator of the car, and it fucking just died on the side of the road. And then I call my mom, and I'm like, hey, like, our car just died. It's my mom's car, but she's like, we've been sharing it. So it's like, I'm just like, hey, a car just died. And then she just like starts freaking out, and she got really upset. And rightfully so, obviously. It's like, you're good to do your own thing. But the point that I'm making, though, is that, like, she got really upset, but I was just sitting there just like, what's the point of getting upset? Literally, like, it's gotten to the point now where it's just like, and that would have upset me before. It really would have, because I would have started getting worried about, like, what happened to the car? Is it okay? But I just honestly didn't have any reaction. I went and filled up the radiator, and then it was fine, and nothing happened. But like, she held on to that, and it made her suffer. You see what I mean? That's the only thing that I'm trying to get to. It's just to show you that, like, you can change your perspective, and just for the pure fact, like, not because it's more true, but just because it makes you feel better, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm tired of feeling bad. Keep saying that to yourself. I'm tired of feeling bad. If you're actually tired of feeling bad, then do something to feel better. Do something radical if you have to. Like, lie to yourself to feel better if you have to, but you don't have to lie to yourself. All you have to do is just try to find the optimism in all situations, and just do that ruthlessly as much as you possibly can. And then eventually, you know, you'll start looking at things in that way. But like, there's also another thing that you can do where it's just like, you start to see everything as being an opportunity being placed to you, or placed in front of you for you. And you start to see and understand that we're here to balance our energy centers and to become aligned. And alignment, what that entails is being able to be in any situation and be completely collected and together, aligned. You see what I mean? It's like you're the same person when you're in the grocery store waiting in line. You're the same person when you win the lottery. You're the same person when you're on fire in the middle of a field and you're gonna die. You're the same person when you're in front of the angry general and he's telling you that he's gonna cut your head off. You're the same person who is in the pizza parlor eating some pizza. You're the same person in all of these situations. And to be aligned means that you stay in that non-reactive state of awareness no matter what happens. That's what alignment means. That's what it means. That's why we came here, is to become that way. If you watch enlightened people, then you start to see that they don't generally get upset about anything. So there's a reason behind that. And the reason is not because they're not experiencing the feelings that you're experiencing, because they're experiencing the same feelings. It's just that they're interpreting them differently, and they're just not reacting to them. That's the only thing. So it's like you're starting to see things, but you're not reacting to them anymore. And thoughts as well, anything really. But I don't know. I'm kind of rambling at this point. Honestly, I'm just kind of like talking to the camera. I'll make another video. I'm going to go back and look at that part of the video, because I can't even remember what I said that I was going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about that. So I shall see you guys later, and I appreciate you.